Oh, hello YouTube. Today in the Naughty Librarian, I am doing my mid-July wrap-up. So, I'm gonna be honest with everybody. I feel like hot garbage today. I made an effort with some makeup, but really it was a necessity. I threw up so hard this morning, I burst blood vessels in my face. So, hence the makeup. Long story short, I got bit by a tick. I don't know how this happened. I am an indoor kid. When do I go outside? What is grass? Like, what? Who? How did I get a tick bite? And I found out two things. One, I am amazingly and alarmingly allergic to tick bites. It's on my leg and it was like the size of a grapefruit and I was like, oh no, like I had to go to the hospital. And also they make you take like heavy duty antibiotics if you have a bad tick bite. And mine was really bad, so they made me, I'm on these antibiotics that like made me just want to vomit forever. So anyway, the show must go on. I'm just hoping all my blood vessels aren't showing, but let's talk about some books. So far in July, I have read 6 books, and that's a pretty good spread. I have, like, honestly, it's almost 2, 2, and 2. Like 2 really, really great books, 2 like, okay books, and then like 2, I don't know about these books. So it's a good spread. Let's just start reviewing some stuff so I can go lay down and not throw up forever. First category is romance, and I read 3 of them, all different genres. Let's start off with a 5-star read. Why not? My Darling Duke by Stacey Reid. You guys, I am obsessed with Stacey Reid. Like, I want to go and buy this author's entire back catalog. I am obsessed. Last month I read Her Wicked Marquess and I loved it, and this is the book that came out before it in the series, and this one, honestly, it's a Beauty and the Beast kind of vibe retelling, and I loved it. Do you know how impossible that is? I feel like if you've watched a lot of videos, you've been here for a while, you know I do not like Beauty and the Beast retellings. They're never good. They're always just so heavy-handed, and then this one comes along, just changes my mind about everything. So this one is about Catherine and Alexander. And Catherine, she's kind of a desperate wallflower. She needs to make a match for her sisters so they can get married and the family will be saved because they're poor. Their dad passed away and left them with nothing. They're all broke. And so she devises a plan, which is that she's just going to go around and say, oh, you know, the Duke of Thornton? Yeah, he hasn't been around for several years, but it's okay because we're totally engaged. We were pen pals and now we're engaged. Like, he's totally my fiance. She just starts telling people this. Has she met the Duke? No, never. And of course it gets into all the society papers and everything, and it kind of blows out of proportion until eventually Alexander, the Duke of Thornton, finds out about his fiance, and he's like, well, this is news to me. And so, you know, he's like, I'm gonna go see what this lady's about. I find her fascinating for some reason. Why not? Because Alexander has his own problems. He was in a particularly bad accident earlier in life. So, like, he kind of wears a Phantom of the Opera mask because he has a lot of burn scars, like, all over his body. He got very severely burned in a house fire, and he like saved his sister. That's why he's so burned. And also he like had a spinal cord injury, not like I forget what it's called, but there is a spinal cord injury where it's not a complete severing, but like it's almost. So like they usually can retain feeling and mobility with their legs, but not a lot. They have to like rest a lot because it was a partial severing. But so it's kind of like medical. He's in a wheelchair sometimes he's trying to walk. It deals with a lot of like kind of medical issues, and I just love it. Both these characters are adorable. Like, Alexander, does he have some demons? Yes, he does. He has some shit to work through. And is Catherine feisty and cool and like really brave? Yes, she is. She's like, she has to deal with this guy showing up and she knows she just lied about him to like so many people, and she's like, oh no, I'm gonna have to suck it up. So it's like kind of a really good relationship. They really play heavily into the Beauty and the Beast tropes, and they do it in a way where it's fun and not so Stockholm syndrome-y, which I think maybe is the key factor about why I like this so much. But yeah, 5 stars. It's effing fantastic. I don't want to give too much of the plot away, but oh my gosh, Stacey Reed, where have you been all my life? I need to go get the whole back catalog. I also read Neon Gods by Katie Robert, and whoo boy. So I mainly just got this for penetration purposes. I just wanted to see how smutty is it. And you know what? It's pretty smutty. I think the best way to describe like the whole vibe of this book is like if Loki, you know, like Marvel's Loki, and a Kardashian made a porno. Go with me here. So it's kind of like a modern day take on Olympus. You have Persephone. Her mom is trying to marry her off to Zeus, but Zeus keeps killing his wife, so she's like, I'm not dealing with this. She takes off. She crosses the river Styx to hide out in the underworld. She runs into Hades. Hades is like, okay, I guess you can stay here? And like, then they kind of get into a very sexual relationship right away. There's like a dash of kink in here. I mean, it's pretty spicy. I've read spicier, controversial opinion. I've seen spicier things in books, but it does have a bit of kink. It does have a lot of sex, like a lot. Hence, Loki and a Kardashian made the porno. I mentioned the Kardashian thing just because like Persephone and she has like a couple sisters, so it's like 3 sisters and their mom, who's like their momager, literally. It's literally the Kardashian setup. It's just how it's built. It's supposed to be like kind of modern day tabloids and like, I don't know, modern day city and CEOs and tabloids and like all this kind of stuff for Olympus. And, you know, also Hades and Persephone. It's a much better love story. He didn't like kidnap this girl like in the original myth. She's like, no, I'm staying here because Zeus is trash. Hades, kind of cool. Also, I'm really into this dark queen kind of thing, you know? So Persephone has a lot more agency in this book, and that's why it kind of works. Did I love it? No. Like, I gave it like 4 stars. It was a fun read. Definitely like spicy. Very spicy, but that's what kind of Katie Roberts known for. Would I read another book from this series? Yes, I would. In fact, you know what? I pre-ordered book 2 of this series. I want to see where it's going next. I'm intrigued, okay? Like, this was a good start of a series. I want to see if, like, book 2, like, takes it up a notch, you know what I mean? But yeah, it's pretty fun if you want something just very smutty and Greek mythology based. This is your thing. This is it. Last romance I read was One Last Stop by Casey McQuiston, and hot damn did I love this! Red, White, and Royal Blue by Casey McQuiston was one of my faves, and I was like, let's see the follow-up. Is lightning gonna strike twice? And you know what? It did. Casey McQuiston, knocking it out of the park. So this one is August and Jane. August is a modern day, 20-something. She's kind of cynical. She's been through a lot in her life. And then she's on the subway, and the best part of her day is her subway crush, this woman named Jane. And Jane looks kind of cool and kind of punk rocky. And turns out, funny enough, Jane is from the 1970s, and somehow metaphysically she has been like stuck on the subway for like 40 years. There's like, they kind of get into the ifs and whys of this like metaphysical reaction in here, but I do appreciate the fact that they're not trying to make it time travel. It's silly. It should be. Like, don't try to make like a metaphysical thesis in your romance, okay? Like, let's just have it be silly, timey, wimey, wobbly stuff, you know? And that's why I think it works. It's not trying to take itself too seriously. It's got like great LGBTQ plus representation and oh my word, and like adorable characters and like zany shenanigans and like, I don't know, it's like a friend group you just want to hang out with. Does that make sense? Or you're reading it and you're just like, oh man, I wish I was hanging out with them. They seem super cool. And yeah. It's like a love letter to New York. It's a love letter to subway crushes and the LGBTQ community, and it's super fun. It's a dash spicy. It's about as spicy as Red, White, and Royal Blue was, which isn't very spicy. It's a mild salsa, but like a good mild salsa. You know what I mean? Because legitimately, Jane, the love interest, Jane, she's kind of a panty dropper. I'm just gonna let you guys know in advance. But it's really, really good, and I laughed and I swooned and I was so happy reading it. So definitely 5 stars. It's just great. Next category is fantasy, and I read 2 of them. I read For the Wolf by Hannah Witten, and okay, here's the deal. I may have overhyped this in my own head too much. In the end, I did give it like 3.5 stars. I don't think it's a bad book. It just wasn't incredible, you know what I mean? Like, this cover, gorgeous. Look at this. It's got deckled edges. Damn, this book is pretty. And also, it's kind of like a Red Riding Hood kind of mythos. There's these 2 sisters. The first is for the throne, the second's for the wolf. So essentially, there's like this weird, I don't know, metaphysical rules of this magical kingdom. And like, if there's 2 sisters born to like the ruling family, the first one gets to be queen. The second one, they go live in the woods. That's like a sacrifice, I guess. This book in particular is following Neve and Red, and these are twin sisters. Neve is the one destined for the throne. Red, obviously, for the wolf, Red Riding Hood. And a lot of this book is about being able to like let go of grief and like the bond between sisters, and also, you know, forest magic and like trees that are like guardians of the forest and like wolf people. Like, it's got a lot of stuff happening magic wise that I don't really know if it's well thought out. Like, it's a cool magic system, but like, is it the best magic system I've seen? Kinda no. And also, like, it was fairly predictable. Like, I predicted a lot of the twists and turns in here, like, immediately. So, you know, I mean, this is a debut author, so maybe book 2 is just gonna blow me away. I don't know. But this one, you know, it's fine. You know, it's about 2 sisters, and like, one's trying to, like, Neve is trying to save Red from this forest. Turns out forest is like a completely different thing than what everyone thinks it is. It's not really a curse. It's more of like a guardianship, and like, there's a wolf guy that like Red is into, and I'm like, okay, you get your wolf boy, just do this. And another reason why I didn't give this like a higher rating than 3.5 stars is that like, I wasn't sure what kind of book it was. Like, at times it honestly feels like it's YA, and then sometimes it feels more adult. Maybe it's new adult, I don't know, but honestly, it's borderline YA. And I was just expecting older characters, you know what I mean? I was expecting, I don't know, I wasn't necessarily expecting smut here, but I just was expecting older characters, if that makes any sense. So the way they think about things is different, but it's fun. I think it's like a good retelling of Red Riding Hood. There's enough changes in the story to make it interesting. There's like cool forest magic. The sister bond is really interesting. Is albeit a bit predictable, but yeah, 3.5 stars. Like, it's better than average, but like, do I love it? No, but it's fine. It's good. It's good. Another fantasy retelling I read was The Chosen and the Beautiful by Neve Vo. This is a fantasy style retelling of The Great Gatsby. Here's the thing, I don't like The Great Gatsby. So going into this book, I was coming in at a disadvantage, and coming out of this book at the end, I'm still at a disadvantage. I ended up giving this 2 stars. I know people are gasping right now because this book is like getting great ratings all over the place, but like, for me, in my own opinion, I did not enjoy it. And I didn't enjoy it for a lot of the same reasons I don't like The Great Gatsby. But let's talk about what this book does well. This is, you know, like I said, it was a retelling. It's from the perspective of Jordan Baker, except in this one, she is adopted, she's Vietnamese, and she's kind of dealing with the world of the 1920s, being like the only Asian person in the whole group she hangs out with. So that in itself adds like a sense of alienation. And also she's adopted, so there's like double alienation. And also magic. There's like a lot of magic in this world, and I'm like, okay, cool. Infernal pacts with demons and dragons and stuff. Like, I'm like, okay, like, give me some demonry. Great Gatsby could handle demonry. That's kind of the parts I liked. Here's the deal. all of these great things that I've just mentioned don't really have a satisfying conclusion. Like I mentioned, Jordan Baker is Vietnamese and adopted. None of her like feelings and like emotions and like what this means for her life is really ever gone into. It's just kind of there at the surface, and this is like meaty material for character growth, and it's just kind of left on the cutting board. We don't go any deeper with her character for any of that. And also the magic system in this book, like, it's cool. I like the vibe. It has this whole Roaring 20s Art Deco kind of style to the magic, which is dope. I love that. However, what does it add to the story? The answer is not a lot. It's like, yeah, okay, people drink demon wine, and you can make pacts with demons, and then like people who have made infertile pacts, they have like a black fingernail. So like it's kind of like gauche or stylish depending where you are to have a black fingernail. So, you know, it fits well into the world of Gatsby, but does it add anything to the story? And the answer is kind of no. It doesn't really add much of anything. So basically, you know, I think if you're a fan of The Great Gatsby and you like that introspective lyrical writing style, you're really gonna like this. Like, I see the value in it for the right reader. I am not the right reader. I was just bored and then upset because it's still The Great Gatsby, but not any better. But yeah, it's lyrical, it's got cool magic, it's got, you know, a Vietnamese heroine, and also it's like way spicier than The Great Gatsby. There's some like sexy bits in this, like a little bit of sexy bits, and but yeah, it's not enough to save it. So yeah, 2 stars. Like, it has its moments. It definitely has its moments, but like, not the book for me. I hope it's the book for you. I'm sorry. Last category is family drama, and I read one of them. Last book I have to review is Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Taylor Jenkins Reid is an auto-author for me. Love Taylor Jenkins Reid. And this is her latest release. It's kind of following the Riva siblings. It's very Los Angeles, Hollywood, Malibu based, so it's kind of a big love letter to the city. And if you're from Los Angeles, you know stuff about Los Angeles. I think it's like, I don't know, it gives me comfort because I know where that is. I know what that is. Like, you know, it's kind of comforting to read something in your hometown from someone who also loves the hometown. But this story in particular, it takes place in the 1980s at the legendary Riva house party. So it's all in the course of one night. And we are following the 4 Riva siblings and all of their like interpersonal relationships with each other and like their messed up family dynamic because, you know, basically the Rivas, her dad was like Mick Riva, which is kind of like the Elvis Presley kind of figure. So major musical superstar, deadbeat dad. And then, you know, mom, a drunk. So they've grown up rough, and they've really built these really super strong relationships to each other because they were all each other had. These 4 siblings, they didn't have anybody else in the world. So it's a lot of family drama. It's a lot of generational trauma, like how their parents' traumas are still affecting their children now and how like kind of they're repeating. So, I mean, it's doing a lot of juicy character work here. Oh boy. The only thing is, it's like 1980s Hollywood, so it has all of those foibles in it where I feel like people might like find it a little cheesy because it's like, yeah, everyone has permed hair and and it's just like, it's so 80s at times that it's just ridiculous. But the core group of characters here, really great. At times, I wish we had more time on each character to really get to know them more. The one sibling I think we find out the most about, I think we spend the most time from her perspective, is Nina, the oldest sister. And I loved Nina's story. It's fantastic. A lot of perseverance. And, you know, she has the younger siblings. And I wish we spent a bit more time with the younger siblings because we didn't really get a lot of their like story and their hopes and dreams. Like, we get like the basic parts for the story, but like not as in-depth as we go with Nina. So, I don't know. I think it just needs like a little extra more to make it like fantastic. So right now I'm giving like 4.5 stars because it's not incredible, but like it's close. Like it's fantastic. Highly recommend. Taylor Jenkins Reid, genius. Like just so good. So good. Ah! Whew, okay. I reviewed 6 books, everybody. And I am exhausted. I'm so sick. Okay, let me know in the comments down below. What have you been reading lately? Have you read anything really good? Anything surprising? I don't know. Let me know in the comments down below. If you like this video, make sure you give it a like. And if you want to see more videos, make sure you subscribe. And I'll see you guys soon.